Hello everyone and welcome to this Typeform tutorial for beginners. If you've ever wanted to create engaging and interactive online forms without needing any technical skills, you're in the right place. Typeform is a fantastic platform that makes data collection more like a conversation. In this quick tutorial, we're going to be taking you through the very basics, showing you how to sign up, navigate the platform, and create your first simple form in just a few easy steps. We'll focus on getting you comfortable with the core concept so you can start collecting information effortlessly. Also, if you haven't signed up for Typeform just yet, you can use my link down below in order to sign up and get a free 10 responses for your first month. So let's jump right in and unlock the power of conversational forms. So the first thing we would like to show you is how to sign up. This is pretty easy and you can come over to the top right corner, click on sign up. Now on this page, you have three options. You have the option to sign up with Google, you get to sign up with Microsoft, or you can sign up with your email. But in order to make things easy, we can go ahead and sign up with Google because we have our mail address ready. So we're going to click on sign up with Google and select the email address and proceed. Now you'll be taken to this page where you'll need to agree to Typeform's forms of service, privacy policy, and data processing agreement. Click on the checkbox and this will automatically toggle these three options on. And what are they? Now the first option is to agree to get useful tips, inspiration, and offers via e-communication, that's email. And then you also have the option to tailor Typeform to your needs based on your activity. And then you also get to enrich data with select third parties for more relevant content. Now there is a three-step to your sign-up process and we're currently trying to customize our experience. Now you get the question, what's the main thing you'll be using Typeform for? If you're using it for personal, schoolwork, or work, you could choose any of these options. We could go ahead and choose school, and then it's going to ask you, what do you want Typeform to help with? And then you can go ahead and look through the different options. You have manage events, project or requests, get more customers and sales, recruit talent, conduct research work, get feedback, or engage or educate my audience. Of course, we could choose to get feedback, click on submit. Then here on this page, you're going to choose how you'd like to create your form. Now there are three options. We get to start from scratch, where you get to build from a list of ready-made form elements, and you also have the import questions in case you have your questions from Google Forms or Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. You can actually import your questions from there. Then you have the create with AI, and this is using and harnessing the power of AI to create and generate questions for any form. So you could use any of these options, or you could synchronize to your CRM, for example HubSpot, and this represents one of the many different integrations you can use with Typeform. But this is more of the advanced stuff, so we're going to simply click on create with AI. Now you have these two options because we chose create with AI, because currently with create with AI you have for all forms, use AI to create questions for any form and business goal. And then you have the other option, qualify your leads with AI generated questions and scoring rules. So if you want to change your mind, you could click on import questions, and then you could see here the button to import from your Google form. And then you could also go to add form elements. Now this is doing it from scratch. Now although we'll be using create with AI, do take note that you can create using any of these options later in your experience while using Typeform. So this is not a one-off choice. But for this tutorial, we're going to be choosing for all forms. Click on it, and then you're going to describe your form. Now from this page, you get to describe your form. It says describe the goal of your form. So because we chose school as one of the things you'll be using it for, you could actually describe your goal based on the niche, in this case something regarding school. But of course you don't need to stick to that. You can just simply create or describe your goal in your form. So you have some suggestions for you, and this is the beauty of using AI. We're going to click on this one, and it says here for best results you'll need to provide as much details as possible, mention your audience relevant, and include context. For example, if it's an event registration form, mention details like event date, event name, etc. So these are the tips you'll need to apply here to help the AI to generate valuable questions to get the right insights. So we're going to click on continue, and on this page you'll need to list specific questions or topics to include. So this is your survey, so you're going to need to put in what applies to you. In our case, we're just simply going to click on generate questions and say what the AI does for us. It's going to take a brief moment in order to do what you want. Awesome, right? So right now we have have about 10 questions that have been generated. You can see the first question, how do you typically prepare for exams? And question number 2, what time of the day do you find yourself most productive for studying? The third question, how do you take notes during lectures? As you can see, the first 2 questions indicate that the AI has done a good job at generating questions based on what we wanted. And this can be the same for you if you follow the steps while using AI. Now, of course, you need to take note that you can make some edits to this. Because it's AI doesn't mean that this is done. So you can simply click on this and delete as you want and modify it as you wish, right? So do take note of that. Now there are some options here, and if you don't want them, you can simply click on the X or add another choice. Now, as a reminder, you're currently in the creation mode with Typeform, and this is the dashboard where you can create your form. On the left side, you have your questions that have been set up. In the center, you can see the full view of it, and on the right, you have some other elements which you can add to your question. These may include videos. If you'd like to add a video to your question, this is totally possible by clicking on video, and you can see that you can add your video right here because we clicked on video. However, some of the features are limited only to the paid plan, so you'll need to pay or upgrade in order to be able to do this. We can click on text again because we've just shown you that, and then more things you could do with your form, such as creating a design if you'd like to have a better design, because right now we have our form on a white background. If you'd like to change the background, you can go ahead and click on design, and then you have your themes. You can click on gallery, and here is a nice looking gallery we can choose in order to have our form look more attractive. Now we're going to choose one of the free options. We can choose this one right here. When we choose it, you can see right now it's made the changes. Click on the X to close it, and this looks beautiful. Another question you can think about as a beginner is what platforms will they be using, or what devices will they be using in filling the form? Currently we're having the desktop view, but we know today many people will be using mobile devices. So you will need to go over to the top, and you can see this icon right here, and this says the mobile view. When you click on mobile view, it switches up to the mobile view, and you can see how the form will look like. If you go through the questions, you can see how they will be presented, and you can make more sense of it. And this already tells you that when anyone is using a mobile device, they will still get the best out of this survey and easily have a view and fill the form with ease. Now, if you want to still add videos to your form, you can see how the video takes up more space, and this might not be the best because this option basically shows the video first, then they'll need to scroll down, but this is really your choice if you want to have it that way. However, if you want to take this away, you can simply click on text once again, and it will be right back where we started. Now here's another thing you might want to take note of if you want to have an effective questionnaire or survey form. Now here you have the accessibility check. Now what this does is when you click on it, it gives you a score of how good your form is. Now because this was created by AI, this is easy to have some positive ticks right here. For example, questions have enough color contrast with the background, yes. Answers have enough contrast, answers have enough color contrast with the background, yes again, and yes, and these are positives. However, you can see that the theme background has an image that can't be guaranteed to have enough color contrast with the question and answers. Now this is just something you might want to take note of, as it's indicated here as a simple warning. Now you can use the accessibility feature to know how good your form is and how accessible it is. At the end, you might want to click on preview with the button right here, and it's going to continue the preview by showing on the mobile version. As we scroll down, you can see how they will appear as your respondents are filling the form, and if you want to switch to the desktop view, you can see how it is. By clicking on the arrow down, you can see it skips the questions one after the other. And that brings us to the end of this introductory Typeform tutorial. We've covered the very basics, from understanding what Typeform is all about to signing up, navigating the dashboard, and creating your first simple form. And of course, if you'd like to publish it, you have the publish icon right here to go ahead and publish it and share the links to the appropriate platforms you'd like to have it. Hopefully, you now have a solid foundation to start experimenting and collecting information with ease. Remember, the key is to start simple and gradually explore more features as you become more comfortable. Also, if you haven't signed up for Typeform just yet, you can use my link in the description down below in order to sign up and get a free 10 responses in your first month. Thanks for watching, and happy building.